And you can see that I can't go because, so in this video, we're going to go through Grok-3. We're going to talk about what is Grok-3 and how is it really changing the playing field of AI, but most importantly, as developers, to really think about how to leverage all of these AI tools so that we can better ourselves, we can better our communities, and build things that actually help the world. So that is the whole point of these tools. So stick around here because we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. And most importantly, I'm going to showcase a few of the applications, games, and things that people have been building with Grok-3, as well as me testing out the coding capabilities of Grok by building some fun things. All right, let's get started. In case you haven't heard, Grok has been everywhere for the past week or so because Grok-3 was released, which is this supposedly this super model that is really good at reasoning, doing deep search, and all of the buzzwords when it comes to AI lately. So if you go to Grok.com, most likely this is what you're going to be able to see. So this is the place where you can just get started and chat with Grok. But before we go there, let's look at this article by Built-in called Artificial Intelligence Grok-3. So it's a nice article because I like it gives us a definition of what Grok is. So it's always nice to have definitions. As a multimodal, what does that mean? Well, it means instead of just text, it can also read and understand images and many other forms of unstructured data. XAI should say startup to power its Grok chatbot with advanced reasoning and search capabilities. The model is designed to solve complex problems, retrieve information in real time, and provide contextually relevant responses. Now, all of these words mean a lot when it comes to AI. Context is everything for these large language models. So the better context you have, the better chance you have to actually get the responses, relevant responses. This is one thing I will show you in a second here why I like so far about Grok. Let's test it out. You can go here and say, I'm going to ask, for instance, I have a problem. I need to get to Japan in the next 5 days. I just want to see how will this model handle. And this is the cool thing. You can see that because I actually don't have deep search. Let's click on deep search. Let's hope that's going to help. I think that was a little bit too late, but in any case, you can see that it went ahead and started searching 25 web pages. If you click here, they're going to show us exactly the results. It goes to kayak.com, Expedia, and many different websites out there in the internet where it will be able, could be able to find what I'm looking for. So it's going to take all of that, go and read all that information. And then at some point, hopefully it's going to give me all of the information that I want. However, I actually have Super Grok, which is $30 a month. And you don't have to do that, obviously, but it's just something that I decided to go just to not get those limits. In your case, you can just test things out without having to pay anything, at least as a recording of this video. What I said here, I'm going to paste in. I have a problem. I need to get to Japan. Make this larger. In the next few days, as you see here, and get there cheaply, I'm going to say deep search. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so now you can see that we have this deep search thinking. It's going to go through the process of thinking, exploring budget, travel, and do all of that. All right, so after a few moments here, because it had to do deep search, and what I like is that you can see from this side here, there it tells us exactly how long it took and the sources, number of sources that it went out and looked at. So 145 sources. This is incredible. 50 seconds, so that's about 2 minutes, and went through the process of thinking. You can also click to go see exactly how it started the process of thinking, and then the exploring budget, travel, calculating flight schedules, planning, website navigation, right? Go through those websites that it went and looked for and found, such as Kayak and all of these things. So this is great. So it's doing all these things all sequentially or at once or in parallel. And it's great. It reminds me, obviously, in the back end, of course, I'm sure they're using agents. All right. So then we have searching flight options, research flight prices, and all of that. And look at that. It went through 4 posts, X, right? Twitter, and 477 websites. key points. It gives me all the key points about what's going on. The price is starting around $300 to $400 for a one-way ticket. And research suggests that checking flight search engines like Kayak, Expedia, and Google Flights for the best deals and specific availability. And one thing I like is it gives this survey note, which is detailed analysis of affordable travel to Japan from Los Angeles. You can see that the engine is also thinking about everything and looking at the whole picture of what it was able to compile to give me this full analysis and go from there. All right, so I'm not going to go through it, but you get the idea. And also have Think, which allows it to really think through a certain problem to get through a solution. And the other thing here, you can see, what can Grok-3 do? Well, it can do these advanced reasoning, right? It can also do search, as we saw, as well as game development, which is exactly what we're going to talk about in a little bit here. It's pretty exciting. Voice mode and all of that. Okay, and they talk about the comparison between Grok-3 to other models. So it says XA claims Grok-3 beats Google Gemini 2, OpenAI's GPT-4, Anthropic's, and all that side. Now remember, these tend to be mostly claimed because these businesses, these companies that are making these models, they want to always be top. But there are some benchmarks where this particular model wins over the others. But let's go ahead and look at what people are building or have been building with this new model. So you can see that here on Twitter, I said build with Grok-3. Okay, Grok-3 is just ridiculous at coding. I was able to get 830 lines of monolith code out of it before it started crashing a bit. I'm pretty sure I can get more out of it though. This is all 1.3 digest JavaScript file generated by Grok-3 beta. Pretty blown away right now. So all of this game here was created using Grok-3. Stick around and I'm going to show you how to build games such as this. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to really think about this Grok-3 and many other models that will be coming up, how to think about leveraging these models to actually build SaaS products to accelerate your learning and all of that. All right, so a lot of things here. If you continue, you can see that a lot of things also that people are building, like this simulation here. Amazing. And of course we have, here's my first attempt at game built with Grok-3. All of this built with Grok-3 is something that somebody built with Grok-3, as you can see here, where they were able to run, you can run this and have this 3D simulation of whatever they are putting here. Looks like a bolt. So these are just some ideas. I did something cool with Grok-3 from natural language to fully parametric 3D model. Cool. All right, so a lot of different examples here. You can see people are creating animations and adding things and all of that. But what is the point of all of this? Even though you're not a game developer, I'm going to show you how to think about building these simple games, or actually pretty complex games, using Grok. But the idea here is not just about the games, and I'll show you that in a second here. So now I'm going to use Grok. Remember, I'm using Super Grok, but if you're using the unpaid version or the beta version, it should also work, right? It's just that you're going to have limited credits, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and prompt it, see if they can build me a game. Let's start with make a 3D space explorer game that runs on the browser. And I want to make sure that it runs on a browser because it's just the simplest way for us to test it, because we don't have to do a lot. Okay, the main character is floating in space and occasionally it encounters planets and asteroids. Okay, let's see what will happen. I'm going to just hit enter. One thing to keep in mind, I've tested this. Make sure none of these are selected, because if you have deep search, what is going to happen, as I was testing, it's just going to go deep search, look for sources that will help you build this game. Copy this, and I already have a code editor opened. It's going to be an HTML file, as you can see here, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste all of that. Okay, so I'm not going to even look at that. Let's go ahead and right click, and I'm going to just run this on the browser, and look at that. Oh wow, so it's very simple, but it does the thing. All right, very good. So I'm not moving much, but you can see things are working. So we can go ahead and back to our prompt here. I'm going to say, great, make sure that the background looks like space and that the main character looks like spaceship. Also, include the capability to move and change directions. Okay, let's see. Now it's going to go ahead and update the code. One thing I love about Grok, it's extremely fast. It's incredible how fast it is. You can see it's running, spitting out the code and everything. And just copy this and just paste all of that there. Looks very strange. Let me just say we're still in space. So this is okay. Make sure that we are in space where it's dark and lots of stars. We are in the Milky Way galaxy. I think that's a galaxy. Okay, so it's going to redirect itself. Remember, these large language models, they need a lot of good prompting. I haven't prepped for this. This is just out of my head and going through. As you can see, we can go through a lot of iterations here. But I want you to keep in mind of what is possible here, which we're going to be talking about as soon as we are done with this, okay? Okay, so looks like the code is all done. I'm not going to read anything. Again, I'm going to just copy this, go back to my code editor and add all of that. And voila, now it looks better. Okay, so one thing I noticed, I want to be able to move. So this is the main character. I want to be able to make it so that the main character is actually moving and can shoot stuff. Make it so that the main character is move forward, move, and shoot as its name attached to it. Okay, so now I'm prompting to say I want something else. See if you can add those things that I want you to add. All right, so you can see that gives me a summary of what's new, but let's go and get the code and see. Okay, it looks like it's not necessarily... Oh, there we go. That was really fast. You saw that. Okay, so if I say space, it's going to be shooting, which is okay. All right, I'm going to change... Oh, look at that. That was fast. Okay, so it's kind of working. Make sure the planets don't move too fast. Also, the main character is a flying space ship. Okay, I think this is probably going to get to what we want. As you can see, oh, there we go. Okay, so it looks nice, starry, a lot of stars, looks like space, and the camera is actually moving. I'm not doing anything here, right? So I want to be able to make it so that we can actually move. All right, so slower planets, let's copy that. Jupiter, very good. Oh, so I can go backward. Look at that. All right, so this is a really good example because if I can use the A goes backward, W goes forward, and very good. All right, so I don't want to go too much into this, but you can see you can use prompt to make it look good. Now, what I can also do, I can change everything by saying make a 3D game in browser with sky. Let's just go ahead and enter. Totally different thing, but let's see how this is going to do. Maybe it's going to incorporate what we already have and see. Okay, so the code is done. I'm going to just copy this. Oh, look at that. So if I say A, go faster, and this is W, D is back, and W, I'm moving up. Ah, look at that. So it included the sky, the space with what I have here. So S goes down, and space still you can shoot stuff. All right, very good. Okay, so you can see that the plane is being created. Skyscrapers, not very realistic, but look at that. All right, very nice. Now you can imagine the things that you can build. You can keep prompting and go from there. So now I'm going to say something like this. Okay, build a 2D game that teaches players how to read music. Let's see what's going to happen. Sorry, this game has to run in the browser. All right, so I think that's more specific. All right, I'm going to ask it, put it all in one HTML file. Okay, let's see. Look at that. Very good. Look at this. So now it doesn't look that great, but I can go and prompt to say, make sure that everything looks good. Make sure that all elements are in the visible screen, and the mechanics each time a note is hit, show the name of that note. Okay, I'm gonna use A, S, D, F, G to play the note. A, S. Okay, so this is telling me what to do. Okay, so what I want to say is like, make sure that I can move the arrow up and down to get the moving notes. Make sure to play the actual note sound. Okay, let's go ahead and get the code and save. Okay, so voila, I can do that. Oh, I love it. So very good. All right. So one thing I noticed is that I think this is a different treble. Like this is a different, let's say I can't stop. Okay, game over. I'm going to say, please use the treble clef. I think that's what's called, the normal, not the bass one. Okay, because I think it was using a different one, I think. Again, I don't know. I don't read music very well. All right, so let's go ahead and get the code. All right, so let's see. All right, that's G. Right, I know that. And then the middle, that's going to be A. And all the way, that is D. Yes. Very good. So this is going to be E. All right. So this actually works. All right. So just a very simple demonstration here. Now, the part you've been waiting for. So I want to show you something that is very interesting. So I want to show you something here. There's one person, his name is Level SIO. So he's one of the persons who created a full-on space flight simulation game. The cool thing about this is that he monetized it. So his job is actually to create SaaS, software as a service. That's all he does, and he's made millions of dollars doing that. And this is not just about the millions of dollars, it's about providing value, and people will come to you. And so look what he thought about. So he created this game, all of that using these tools, right? Cursor and Grok and so forth. And then he monetized it by creating this SaaS. Look what he does. I'm going to go ahead and add just a random and join. You can play this game. You can see this is all live. There's a lot of people who are actually online right now. You can see, and you can see that I can't go because there's just a lot of people right on the runway. Refresh this because it has happened before. Aha, he was able to actually put something else because a lot of people were coming and wanted to play his game. If you want to get Fly F-16 now, you can go ahead and pay $29.99 to support his game. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is a genius way of monetizing your efforts. Even though he used AI tools, models to create this, you can see what you can do with monetization when it comes to your own efforts and put things into market as fast as you can. We have these tools. We have Grok-3 right now, as you saw. It's very easy to build something that is actually usable, something real good, and it will only get better. And so monetizing, think of ways of monetizing these efforts. It's the game right now. This is why I need you to think about this. You don't have to be a game developer, although it helps, but you can see how easy it is for you to actually build fun games and share with the world and let people also support you on your endeavors. This is just a small example that I want you to all think about. I want you to always think about, how can I leverage these tools to better my community, to allow me to be more productive, and also to allow others to be more productive and better their lives as well. That is the whole point. It could be just entertainment. It could be building full-on SaaS applications and so forth. And that, my friend, is what I want you to take from this whole Grok-3 thing and many other models that are coming up. Think in terms of serving, think in terms of building things that actually help people. Could also be entertainment, as you see here, and ways in which you can monetize them. There's nothing wrong with that. So if this video was useful to you, you will learn something. I would appreciate if you smash the like button and also subscribe to this channel, because there's a lot more that I share with you when it comes to AI and what's going on. Again, thank you so much for your time, and until next time, be well.